On this edition of Oxford News This Week, a brand new assistant chief gets sworn in, a look through the lens with CJ, luck go the Irish, and our last story. That and more on this special edition of Oxford News This Week. Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. About 100 people attended the Oxford Area Chamber of Commerce annual State of the Community and Community Awards breakfast on March 8th. Two Oxford leaders spoke. First up, Village President Joe Medore. He reported the village hopes to complete crosswalks on Pontiac Street by the Oxford Elementary and other on West Burdick Street and Pleasant Street before the start of the new school year in the fall. The recent article in the Oxford Leader actually inspired plans for the old fire hall. The council wants to bring back the fire hall to a usable hall. Very valuable. It's a valuable resource to the community. The Pollyant Trail uses it, the DDA uses it, and the Chamber uses it as well. The police department uses it as last fall for some of their storage facilities. Oxford Open-Handed, a 503c nonprofit that gathers clothes for families, also utilizes the hall. Again, they're going to try to see what they can do to refurbish it. A few years ago, there was talk about redoing the parking lot and getting rid of the building. Again, they don't think that's the best plan. Our plan now is to redo the parking lot, leave the building in place, getting it back to snuff, as that's how they said. Sooner or later, this is going to be a very valuable piece of area at the cost of about $800,000. It's going to spread it out over a couple of years. Again, according to Joe, they're going to look forward to not having the worst parking lot in town. He said the village is applying for grant monies from the Oakland County, which will help fundraising and a new pavilion for the Scripter Park, as well as repair retaining walls. He also said there will be work on both the northeast and southeast quadrants of the community. The second speaker, Township Supervisor Jack Curtis. His theme was a township in transition. He noted this year the fire department hired a new fire chief, Matt Majestic, a new assistant fire chief, Randy Vesper. He said the fire department had 2,250 calls for service in 2022. He said this past year, the Oxford Parks and Rec Department had a new director for the first time in 26 years, named Phil Castonia. He also noted that township is still trying to convince the state to allow a hospital to be built at Oxford and the township, and moving forward having just one waste hauler. He said the township communications and grant manager, CJ Carnacchio, was able to garner well over $600,000 in grant money and donations in 2022 for township projects. In Jack Curtis fashion, bridging all together, he ended his comments with a quote. "We want to work closely with the village and schools and the DDA and chamber. We're all one community, not just a village or a township. We all are one community with 48371 as the zip code. Whether you're in the village or the township," quote, that from Jack Curtis. A new assistant fire chief was sworn in March at the meeting of the Oxford Township Board. New assistant chief Fire Randy Vesper was sworn in by Oxford Township Fire Chief Matt Majestic.
We have found what we believe a well-qualified candidate to fill the position of assistant chief. And I, state your name.
I, Randy Vesper,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will
swear and affirm that I will
support the Constitution of the United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Assistant Fire Chief
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Assistant Fire Chief
in and for the Township of Oxford, County of Oakland, according to the best of my ability. In and for the Township of Oxford,
in and for the Township of Oxford,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Mr. Vesper comes to Oxford with well over 30 years of fire department experience and has worked in the last year as a fire chief of the Port Huron Township Fire Department. Other action taken by the board. March meeting, the Cemetery Committee has specified several walls located on the north side of the Oxford Cemetery that are in need of repair in varying degrees. Oxford Township Supervisor Jack Curtis explains that the cemetery committee is prioritizing these areas and should be approved to begin a reconstruction process real soon.
What the cemetery committee did was they listed by picture each wall in the cemetery that's crumbling or falling apart. And Curtis has the pictures if you'd like to see them. We put them in a priority listing of A, B, and C. And what we're doing tonight is asking our engineer Sharp to go out for some proposals for wall construction. Taking them all into consideration would give us the possibility of doing some this year as required. Some are falling down. They're really bad. And some just would be nice if we cleaned them up for the families of the deceased that are there.
Mr. Curtis also gave details providing by the Capital Improvement Committee concerning repairs of several areas of the township parking lot and municipal complex. The parking lot issues have not yet been addressed in the past 15 years.
The parking lot was put in approximately 15 years ago. Since we've added the parking lot down to the sheriff's substation, many of you walk in here every night, you see the cracks are getting big. There's holes that are getting bigger. The striping is missing. The arrows are bad at the end. We're missing a stop sign before the safety path. So these improvements, we'd like to go out to bid and have Engineer Sharp solicit those requests for proposals of the parking lot. In your packet, you'll see that he did a brief estimate, if you will, cost estimate through the engineering world of $132,181. And the map that, we just had it up there, the map would be in your packet that's circled in the green of the areas that we would consider for repairs.
Request for a bid approval of both cemetery reconstruction and township parking lots improvements passed unanimously. On March 3rd, the Michigan Lottery announced an Oxford woman started screaming and crying as she won $500,000 playing the Michigan Lottery Ruby Red Wild Time instant game. Brandy Crislett Barnes won $500,000 with a scratch-off ticket. Again, she purchased her winning ticket at the BP gas station located on 721 South Lapeer Road in Oxford. Crislett Barnes recently visited lottery headquarters to claim her prize and her winnings. She plans to purchase a home and then save the remainder. Congratulations on the winning for that changes lives. Students from the Lakeville Elementary leadership team made a special delivery. The Lakeville leadership team has been thinking of ways to thank the heroes in our community. According to Nora Kroll, the Spanish teacher, student leadership team advisor, with funds from what they had earned running the school store, the team decided to buy items to fill 2 large gift baskets for the Oxford Fire Department personnel. They included snacks, drinks, as well as a nice roller pens. Also included were notes for the firefighters, paramedic, and EMTs from Lakeville Elementary students, again, thanking the heroes, the Oxford Fire Department. On Martin Luther King Day Jr. Day in 2021, the Holler family of Oxford were home from work and from school, and they decided what could they do for a day of service. They were thinking about how could they serve others from their community in January and come up with the concept of creating a clothes closet for kids in need. Oxford Open Handed was born. Oxford Open Handed, a 501(c) nonprofit organization, was created to help area kids and their families in need while giving people who have time, talents, and resources to help others in the community live an open-handed life. Oxford Open Hand at its core is about service to others, loving our neighbors, as much as it is about helping as it is about being helped. The Huller family, Scott and Leanne, and their sons Sam and Luke have lived in Oxford for well over 20 years. Scott is a human resource manager, and Leanne is a high school special education teacher at Oxford Virtual Academy. Sam and Luke are both students at Michigan State University in East Lansing. Sam will graduate in May with a special education teaching certificate and begin student teaching in the fall. By June of 2021, they turned the garage into a clothes store for area families. This past fall, the group started a process of moving out of the family garage into their new digs at the old Oxford Fire Hall. behind the Oxford Village Complex at 22 West Burdick Street to serve and make donations. People can visit them at oxfordopenhanded.wixsite.com, or people can follow the Oxford Open-Handed page on Facebook. The haulers ask that clothing donations not just be dropped off at the door. They'd like appointments to shop. Please make appointments to make donations as well as shopping. Scott made the point that he is very thankful. Hauler mentor from the Kensington Church, Orion Becky Lee, Kelly Westbrook, the Oxford Village Council, and Village Manager Joe Medora. This past Saturday morning, they had their first customers in their new digs at the old fire hall. So now that the Oxford Open-Handed is housed in the old fire hall, Scott said, on a selfish note, he's happy to have his garage back. Since Disney first brought to life The Little Mermaid, the animated musical in 1989, the film has been labeled a classic love story. Starting tomorrow, or I should say already happened this past week, the Oxford High School Theater Department put on that musical to play, again, an 8-time Academy Award-winning movie by Alan Menken and lyrics by Howard Ashton and Glenn Slater. The book by Doug Wright. The fishy fable will capture your heart, as well as irresistible songs, including Under the Sea, Kiss the Girl, and Part of Their World. Again, the vocal director is Leo Humbach, and pit conductors were Marissa Weller and Jim Gibbons. 32 students in the orchestra pit. Dance routines were choreographed by Dana Brewer, according to the Price and Casting production teams. Started way back in October. Our rehearsal started in January. Sets for the shows are magical in themselves, and the crew of 50 students and adults to complete lighting and bolts and fabric all put it all together during, again, the performances that will have already been seen after you see this newscast. Again, we want to congratulate the drama department up at the Oxford High School and all the workers on this endeavor. Once again, OxfordOHSmusical.com is their link online. And celebrating in classic Irish style, we'll be doing with that at the Celtic Knot in Lakeville. We'll have that story coming up real soon. Let's Chat on Tuesday morning. Oakland County Commissioners Michael Spiz visited the Oxford Senior Center to participate in Coffee Conversation series sponsored by the Oxford Township Parks and Rec Department. Commissioner Spiz, who lives in Oxford, and a group of local residents enjoyed a casual, informative discussion that touched on a variety of issues. That's a great program that we have here with the coffee and conversation. And in a new segment inspired by C.J. Carnacchio called Behind the Lens, C.J. Carnacchio calls it Beautiful Sunrise this morning. It's going to be a great day. Oxford, make the most of it. Be the one that stands out in the crowd. And with that, if you do have a picture or a snap, just like CJ, we've been using his for a while, feel free to send it to us at Oxford Community Television or manager at OCCTV.org. Maybe you'll see your snap on Behind the Lens. Dave Kenny and Auto Talk and Science in the News. Coming up next, you are watching Oxford News This Week on Oxford Community Television.
Abigail Adams here, just checking up on our springtime goat work on the Polly Ann Trail. What's that? Trash on our beautiful trail? Oh, that makes me so happy. We've got so many trash cans all over the trail. It's a beautiful day on the trail, but oh no, this could end badly. Wow, that sure was nice. Folks know not to hog the road. Even goats share. Hey, that gets my goat. Where are you going? Even I have to be out here on a leash. You sure are a nice dog, but stay away from those weeds. I'm gonna eat them later. What a beautiful gift, our Polly Ann Trail. I've got to hit the trail. I hope you will too.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. In our first story, General Motors will stop building a $1,500 OnStar subscription into the price of all Buick and GMC vehicles, instead making the safety and connectivity service standard only on high-end trims, but optional on most other models. For the 2024 model year, 3 years of OnStar Premium will be included on all GMC Denali trims and Buick Avenir trims and all versions of the GMC Hummer EV. Lower trims instead will come with 3 years of OnStar Remote Access, which links the vehicle to a mobile app. The change largely reverses a decision made by the automaker in the mid-2022 to package OnStar Premium with every Buick and GMC vehicle, giving buyers no ability to have the $1,500 cost removed. A GM spokesman said the switch is meant to pair premium OnStar features with premium vehicle trims. GM began including a 3-year OnStar Premium subscription with both connectivity and safety features in the middle of the 2023 model year as a way to add value to customers, said Arnie Magnotta, Director of Sales for GM's Digital Business Group, which includes OnStar. The subscription was listed on window stickers as a $1,500 line item until October, Magnotta said, when it was moved to the listing of standard features instead. The total vehicle price remained the same, $1,500 more than before OnStar was included, regardless of how the subscription was listed. The 2024 Cadillac Escalade and Escalade V will continue to come with 3 years of OnStar Premium Standard, as they do currently, GM said. OnStar Premium features include automatic crash response, stolen vehicle assistance, remote vehicle access, and unlimited data streaming inside the vehicle. The service plan costs $50 a month or $550 a year when bought separately. Owners of all other 2024 GMC, Buick, and Cadillac models, as well as owners of the 2024 Chevrolet models, will receive 3 years of OnStar Remote Access features at no cost. Those features include the ability to lock, unlock, and start a vehicle from a smartphone, to see vehicle's location on a map, and to remotely share routes with its navigation system. In our second story, Kia America said it will recall more than 188,000 K5 midsize sedans in the U.S. over side curtain airbags that were installed incorrectly, causing them to not deploy properly during a crash. The recall covers certain 2021 to 2023 K5 vehicles. The K5 was formerly called a Optima and received the new name in 2021. No injuries have been reported as a result of the defect, according to NHTSA. An investigation of a Georgia plant confirmed the airbags were installed improperly at that location, documents show. Letters to vehicle owners were expected to be mailed out by April 7th. Dealers will inspect and reinstall the side curtain airbags as necessary or reimburse owners for repairs already made, NHTSA said. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Do you love local sports? Whether it's Oxford High School or Parks and Rec, you can buy copies of each game. To purchase your copy, call us at 248-628-9658 or give us an email at manager@occtv.org or talk to us at the next game. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. A brief look at our sports. Wildcat swimmer Olin Chargstrom went to first place at the MHSAA Swimming Championship again this past weekend at Calvin University. Chargstrom placed it first in the 100 backstroke to claim the gold. He also broke the school record with his time of 49:04, which is also an automatic All-American time. Wildcat Liam Pearson took home the bronze for Oxford. Oxford High School's first robotics competition, Team 2137, the Oxford RoboCats, competed on Friday and Saturday at the First in Michigan District Kettering University event number 2, presented by Ford. At Kettering University were the team that won the Engineering Inspiration Award and made it all possible. Semifinals and with their robots. The Engineering Inspiration Award celebrates outstanding success in forwarding respect and appreciation for STEM within the team, school, and community. Winning this award now qualifies the team to compete against Engineering Inspiration Award winners at the Michigan State Championship at Saginaw Valley State University. That'll take place in the mid part of April. Out of 39 teams that competed at Rochester, Team 2137 placed 22nd in qualifying matches, and during the Alliance selection was chosen by captain of number 8 Alliance Team 314, the Megatron Oracles from Flint. Had third Alliance member, the second being Team 6098, the Blorbot from Beaver Island. The Alliance got knocked out after their second loss in their third semifinal match. The Oxford RoboCats' next district qualifying competition will be at Macomb Community College. That'll be at the end of April in Warren. Again, we'll keep on top of that. Softball and baseball season about to start here in Oxford High School. If you would like to be a sponsor of our coverage of those events, contact us, OCTV 248-628-9658. Ask for Jim Hughes or Terry Stiles, and we could set up a sponsorship for you for baseball and softball. That's sports. I'll be back in just a bit to close it all out. Dave Kenny's got one more segment, I do believe. We'll be back in a moment.
You budget. You pay bills.
Yet somehow women like you, like me,
Are 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to save ourselves by setting a goal to save 2% more of our income for our retirement.
Why 2?
1% honors you.
And 1% honors all womankind.
So come on. Learn more about the 2% challenge at WeSaySaveIt.org.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan. Take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Toothed whales such as orcas and dolphins use air-powered nose blasts to help them hunt prey hundreds of meters deep. The nasal-powered echolocation system works under extreme water pressure and lets the whales vocalize in different registers, an ability only seen before in crows and humans. As top ocean predators, toothed whales frequently dive up to 2 kilometers deep in pursuit of prey. They echolocate using loud, rapid clicks, but researchers initially didn't know how they were able to perform this feat because at depths beyond 100 meters, whales' lungs collapse. Previous research confirmed the sound wasn't coming from the larynx, the voice-producing organ in humans and most mammals, but was instead radiating from the nose. To understand how this works, Cohen Ellemans at the University of Southern Denmark and his colleagues trained 2 Atlantic bottlenose dolphins and 3 harbor porpoises to voluntarily accept an endoscope inside their blowholes. A high-speed camera affixed to the scope gave the team a peek at each animal's nose while they were echolocating for food in the open ocean. Tissue in their noses moved with each click. In the lab, researchers pumped air through the nose of an already deceased harbor porpoise and found that their tissues move in a similar manner. They identified the source as a narrow passage in the nose called phonic lips. When a toothed whale's lungs collapse, it pushes oxygen into their muscles and sends a small amount of air into this nasal cavity. The air swishes back and forth through the phonic lips, helping the porpoises produce clicks as loud as 200 decibels, louder than a firework display and enough to permanently damage human ears. They basically push air one way and then recycle it and push it back without breathing, says Elements. It certainly surprised us. Further sound analysis and digital models of the nasal tract showed that, like humans, toothed whales have at least 3 voice registers. The vocal fry register, a low, creaky voice, the chest register, a normal speaking voice, and the falsetto register, a high-pitched, squeaky tone. Their nose echolocation trick is exclusively in the vocal fry register, which requires the least airflow to make a click. Producing a sound in the nose gives whales more control over the sounds they create and frees up the larynx for another important use: blocking airflow between the lungs and the nose, letting pressure build up in the nose during a deep dive without risking damage to the lungs. All the sounds they make are produced by these phonic lips that are in the nose, and the larynx becomes a really good plug, says Elements. By doing that, they can make the loudest sound of any animal on Earth by far. The discovery that toothed whales can produce sounds in different registers raises new questions about their communication, says Stefan Hugenberger at the Witten-Herdecke University in Germany, who wasn't involved in the work. Yes, they have different voices, but what for? And how do they use them, says Hugenberger. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, this is former Detroit Lion Rob Rubick and former Lapeer, Michigan school teacher. You're currently watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television. Enjoy it.
And you didn't really have to go far past the rainbow to see the Irish and Celtic pride. Not sure if anyone found a pot of gold or even saw a leprechaun. I do know, though, the luck of the Irish found quite a few places in a few ways on St. Patrick's Day here in the Oxford area and around town. The Celtic Knot at the corner of Lakeville and Rochester Roads were open from 9 a.m. to midnight with live entertainment from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. According to the Abbey, this is their 8th annual 2-day celebration, which again took place on Friday and Saturday. Downtown Oxford, not to be outdone, had Sullivan's Public House, and that's on North Washington Street. They were open from 7 a.m. to midnight, live entertainment from 11 to 11. They also had a big tent takeover area. Washington Square, both restaurants served Irish lunches and dinners, also serving St. Patrick's Day dinners at the American Legion, Walter Fraser Post 108 on East Rainer, and the Emmanuel Congregational Church on 1 Hovey Street. Again, they served Irish dinners as well. So Irish spirit not to be outdone here on that day that everyone is an Irish person, St. Patrick's Day. Everybody had a great time. We thank the news gathering sources from Oxford Leader, Oxford Township Facebook, photo credits from C.J. Carnacchio and Oxford Leader. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99, HET Uverse, YouTube, Rumble, and of course Facebook, along with the Roku app. Watch OCTV programming. If you also have a local group that's interested in producing a public service announcement, or maybe you have a show idea, contact our office at 248-628-9658. We're looking for sponsors for baseball and softball as well. Thanks to producer, director Kyle Snage, videographer Al Campbell, editor, of course, Marissa, and program coordinator Dan Weiss, program director Connie Miller, station manager Terry Stiles. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. I invite you back next time, and again, we will take a look at Oxford News This Week.